Hey, I'm just about to go to bed now, but I really want to share this because it's funny. So what happened is just before my kids came back to my place for the week, I wrote a couple of blogs, but I didn't post them yet. And so days went by. I was doing things with my kids, so we were outside. I was working here and there on my blogs. But after a day, after I did yoga, during my yoga outside, I scratched my knee, like a big scratch. And I know nothing happens for nothing, but at that point, I didn't go look it up to see what it was, what the meaning was, because I was doing other things. And later on that night, and of course I didn't listen to the sign because I didn't know what it was. So later that night, as I was cutting my green onions with scissors, I cut my finger, the tip of my finger. And anyways, there again, I was still distracted a little bit here and there with the kids, and I didn't take time to look it up. But in the morning, was really grounded, and I had my mind in the right place. So I said, okay, I'm going right away to see what it is. I have a book, Les malaises et maladies du corps. And anyways, it's the book of that tells all the body issues and why you have them. Beyond the illusion. And so what it was saying was to walk my talk. I'm scratching myself. It's like for not respecting myself. If I would say something, or if I do something, I don't respect myself, and just doing it fully without being distracted by things around, or mostly my mind. So, and my mind would distract me into trying to make it perfect, or, as perfect as I can. So, all these little details were saying, walk your talk. Don't let distractions stop you from doing what you want to do. And this is also related to my daughters. When I would say, let's say just an example, she's on her tablet and she's been there for a while. So I would tell her, well, let's put it away and do something else. But then I say that, and sometimes, of course, I'm there fully present, and I make sure that she comes out of it. But some other times, I'm distracted by other things. And so I would say these words, and they're not being heard, of course, because I'm not even present myself, and I'm leaving or I'm doing something else, and then she's still on it. Then I come back later, being distracted by something else, and then she's still on it, and I say it again. But so it's really a good lesson to stand up for myself, walk my talk. And the funny thing is that, like, 2 weeks ago, I received that message, walk your talk, and I didn't know what it was really. And maybe a couple of days later, after receiving it, I asked my daughter, like my middle child, and I asked her, what does that mean really? And she wasn't really sure, but we kind of knew. But then when I read this, and I cut myself, and then I read this, it was all aligned to the same thing. So that message kept coming back and again and again. And so I wasn't listening. So they showed me in another way, cutting my knee and then my finger. So that morning, when I figured out my lesson, which was to stand up for myself and walk my talk, I focused on my youngest, where I felt was where my biggest lack of power was, and and we were doing her work. It was I thought I was focusing, on the right thing. But then after breakfast, I do the dishes, and then one of my glasses falls into the sink and breaks. It was funny the way it broke though, because there was a big slice like up. Anyways, and that one, when I was cleaning, I cut my finger like super deeply. It doesn't really show, but it's really deep. Anyways, so after that experience, which I knew wasn't happening for nothing, I ended up um, talking with my sister on the phone, talking about me writing those blogs and other things like going on, like we're playing outside, we have hammocks now, we're having fun, and she tells me her stories, her experiences. And so I tell her that I've been working on blogs, and one of them I've been working for 3 days now. So my sister, we talk and talk and talk, and then I say, I just don't know, I don't understand yet why I've been cut 3 times, like 2 times on the left side, which means that it's related to the feminine side, which is me as a mother, I thought, with my daughter. And so that's why I was focusing on that. But this one was showing me, okay, the right side means the masculine side. And so it's not just daughters now. And so talking with my sister helped me to understand what it really was. And then after her saying, well, how long did you say you were working on that same blog? I said, well, 3 days, here and there, not all day, but here and there. And then she says, well, maybe it's time for you to post it. So we realized that this was really one other aspect of walking my talk and just doing what I need to do without being distracted by my mind, because in that case it was my mind. So stopping me, just trying to make things, all align, because when I start writing something like this one, let's say, there's so much I want to say. There's so much more that I can add. I could write a book in a blog, but that's not possible. And I start writing things in paragraph, and I'm like, okay, well, if I write this, I need to explain that, especially when I talk about entities. But right now, they're telling me, you know what, post it. It's going to come out the way it comes out. People will get it the way they need to get it, and it will be perfect. So I'm learning, and it's fun. I enjoy it. It hurts, but it's fine. So it's just funny. But all of this to say, the insight about this is that we are being pushed to be aligned with our purpose, with our missions, with the light. Okay? And so if we get distracted, they don't waste time to tell us, okay, you need to do this and that. So it doesn't take time for us to know. And if we don't listen, well, we're just gonna get it harder. So the events in our life won't be as pleasant as they were if we don't listen to what we truly feel in our hearts. So it's important to tune in, to take the time to tune in. And this experience of being at home, for most of us anyways, it's allowing us to do that, because as the energy of the planet is reaching higher vibrational frequencies to the fifth dimension, we are being pushed to transform all these things, all these emotions that no longer serves us. So we need to align ourselves to lighten up our loads, like I write in my blogs. We have to lighten up our emotional loads in order to reach higher frequency. We have to be lighter to go up. So it's part of the game of life. It's perfect. This virus, this experience, People get angry about all the lies that we hear about it. But beyond all this scenery, it's all perfect. It needs to be what it is in order for people to stop and tune in, to stop and change our same patterns that comes from the lower vibrational frequencies. This experience of the virus needs to last longer than just a month. It needs to last as long as it can for us humans to break our same patterns. So we must observe the scenery from above and not be stuck in all these little things that are making us angry. Like most people say, you know, turn off your TV, stop watching the news, just enjoy these times because they're there for us. They're there to help humanity come out of the illusion, the matrix. It's all perfect. So that's it. I love you. Good night.